Welcome, my friends, to another fun-filled adventure in Audioland!
Or it's just our podcast again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we're here again, somehow.
We're somehow still alive, didn't get murdered in our sleep.
Yet.
Yet.
So, our last podcast, that was our big pre-E3, 2 days before E3 or whatever podcast. And we made predictions and we talked about E3. And now E3's been over for a little while. And we're just now going to be talking about all the stuff that happened at E3 that you all probably stopped caring about like a week ago.
Yeah, most likely. Shit, maybe even the same day of. So, I guess we should start talking about all these voices inside of my head.
Well, I was going to suggest we talk about E3, but I mean, we could talk about that. You might want to save that for, your psychiatrist or,
But you gotta bang, bang, bang. Pull my devil trigger.
Oh, that's where you were going with that.
Jesus Christ, catch a fucking hint, you asshole.
I thought you were just being weird.
All these voices inside of my head. We have a new Devil May Cry game. That didn't rhyme.
Well, alright. Well, I was going to go through this sequentially, but you decided to jump the gun. Jump the devil trigger, as it were.
No, gun is fine, because, you see, Dante has two guns. They are called Ebony and Ivory.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So sure, that's as good a place to start as any.
Balls deep. Balls deep.
So, Devil May Cry 5, yeah, we saw it coming.
Devil May 5.
Leaks, or maybe it's Devil May Cry V, because it's about Virgil, except it's not, probably.
Virgil is
there's a
dead.
third playable character, though, and it's probably Virgil.
But he doesn't look like him.
Who doesn't?
Doesn't the character
you don't
have
even
black
see
hair?
him. You only kind of see him from the back. It might just be, shadowy. I don't know.
Oh, like, you have not yet unlocked this character type shit?
I don't know. I mean, the obvious...
Sorry.
Wow, that was Vicky. That massive belch was her.
I'm drinking my Diet Pepsi with retro-ass Britney Spears on here.
Is it weird that picture of Britney Spears on the Diet Pepsi can makes me, super nostalgic?
No, it did the same for me. I was looking at a shitload of them. There's, a Ray Charles one and a Michael Jackson one, and I'm like, oh, I remember these. They had these back,
I remember these.
20 years ago. And then I just started, having my, what's that called? My shakes,
Your existential crisis.
Yeah, except it felt more like my hypoglycemia shakes. But, it was for age instead of low blood sugar. I just kind of started shaking in, horror. But it felt like I was going to pass out because of low blood sugar. So it could have been both. That's probably why I grabbed the Pepsi, so...
That makes sense.
The point is, they need to put Dante on the can now because he's old looking as shit.
Oh, yeah, Dante looks pretty old.
Dante looks like shit now. I can't fuck that.
Why does Nero look like DMC Dante?
I don't know. I can't fap to any of this shit. This is bullshit. I want my fucking... sexy Desu ass fucking cool guy.
I will admit that the hipster girl in the trailer, she set off all the red flags at first, because that's the most Ninja Theory looking character I've ever seen.
But you had our friend there assuring us that everything is fine.
What friend? What are you talking about?
Our friend, the only guy who had anything to do with any of the good Devil May Cries.
Oh, well, that wasn't until after the trailer. Then it's Itsuno came out, and it's okay, this will probably be fine. Yeah,
they're holding that man hostage and telling him to say that it's gonna be okay.
Well, see, the thing was, at first, I realized it was Nero right away, because it's Johnny Young Bosch, and he has, a weird arm, and So it's like, okay, this is obviously Nero, but at first I was thinking like, oh, this is Ninja Theory-ified Nero. This is a DMC Nero, and it wasn't. It's just a new design for Nero.
Sorry, you burped again.
So
Oops,
apparently
I did it again.
they're all what they did was all the characters they actually like scanned in the faces of the mocap actors, so they're all like based on real people. All the characters like look like real people. For
the mocap, is it the same Dante that was doing the mocap for him in like 3 and all that?
I have no idea.
Because if so, I can't. No.
Yeah.
No offense to you, dude. I'm sure.
So, but they said that there's a reason for it. They wanted to go for like a more realistic art style this time.
But I want my cutesy Bishonen.
Yeah. Well. Sorry, Vicky. It's not what they went for. But thank God it's not new DMC. It's actually Devil May Cry 5. Because I was worried when that trailer first started a little bit, because it looked pretty DMC. The
whole vibe,
aesthetics
of it, like
he the hair of it made me think DMC. Like I said, the hipster girl character.
Check out that guy. He's fucking shit up. That guy. He do the devil thing and stuff. Whatever the fuck she said.
Yeah, whatever.
And I'm like, stop
kicks
acting
demon
cool.
ass. Like, yeah, that set off the like, oh god, it's like a quirky girl sidekick character. This is gonna be terrible. But no.
Okay, sexist. Anyway.
It's not because she's a girl. It's because, okay, that's like a character archetype that it's a cliche now. Like I'm not wrong in saying that's like a thing that they do a lot now.
No,
and
that's...
I find that type of character massively aggravating most of the time.
This is actually unrelated to Devil May Cry, but it's funny that you bring that up, because like a few days ago, I was sitting there thinking about Aliens. Like the movie Aliens.
Sure.
And I was thinking about Vasquez.
Okay.
And like... I'm like thinking
Vasquez
to myself,
was actually funny though.
Yeah, that's true. But like, if you think about it, like then compared to now, like Vasquez and like fucking Ripley, like they were like that like kick-ass type girl character, or like, yo, we're so hardcore, we can fuck things up type girls, and that was like super cool back then, but it became super cliche, and I'm like on the fence of thinking, I'm like, okay, is this cool or is this not cool? Not even in relation to Devil May Cry, because it's just like, I don't know, it's like a while ago you said in some... like, in regard to something, like, you can tell where your dad peaked in terms of maturity by the clothes he wears.
Oh, that was a Seinfeld bit, but yeah.
Yeah, like, and it's just, like, I kind of feel like it's the same thing, like, with what you think is actually, like, legit cool. Like, I'm thinking, like, yeah, Vasquez is cool as shit, but now I'm like, nah, man, that shit is corny.
Well, right, like, I got to thinking about that. I was watching Red Letter Media, actually, and their little, like, review series they're doing now of, like, where they go back and review old movies they like.
Yeah.
And they were talking about Blade, and they're like, look how dated the idea of cool in Blade is. And it's like, when I think of something cool, Blade is, like, the first thing I think of. Blade is super cool.
Blade, The Matrix.
Right.
Anything like, in that type of Columbine era.
Wow, okay. Yeah, the trench coats and the sunglasses and the all black. That's what I think of when I think of cool. So, I mean, I guess that shows where my mind is, in terms of
These are our bell-bottoms. These are our bell-bottoms.
Trench coats are my bell-bottoms, I think.
We're enormous fucking lame pieces of shit.
Right, but I think that's kind of where Devil May Cry is, too. In, like, Devil May Cry...
But he's like Dad May Cry or
like,
Uncle May Cry,
like
and it's funny as shit.
When Kamiya was making Devil May Cry, he said that the underlying theme of the game is coolness. Like, all his games had, like, this underlying sort of kind of thematic to everything. Like, he said for Devil May Cry, it's coolness, and then for Beautiful Joe, it's beauty, and then for Bayonetta, it was sexiness. And that's kind of what he wanted those characters to sort of embody.
Nice.
So, Devil May Cry, like Dante embodies coolness. It's just he embodies coolness circa like 2001. And I think that's kind of where it should stay at. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
we can't update Dante because Dante is... He's like our really cool... Well, he's not even old enough to be our dad now. He's probably like, what, his mid-30s or something?
I don't know. He looks weirdly old, but I feel like he's probably not supposed to be.
It's probably alcohol.
Like, no,
or maybe the
Dante
pizza's catching up to him.
Dante doesn't drink, according to the Devil May Cry anime.
Oh, yeah, I missed out on that.
I don't know how canon that is. I don't know if that's...
Well, corn chips and ass, but... No, he... In the manga, he got so drunk, he proposed to a mom.
So in the manga, he drinks, but
he drinks
in the anime,
his dick
he doesn't.
Off.
So there's conflict there. I don't know which of those is more canon, or... I don't know.
Anybody listening right now, we need your assistance in helping figure out the Devil May Cry canon, specifically the extended universe. So DMCEU, we need your help.
So where does Project Cross Zone fall in the Devil May Cry timeline? Well, because it uses
Excuse me.
it uses like the Devil May Cry 1 design for Dante.
Yeah.
But like in the second
Excuse me.
Project Cross Zone,
Three times now.
Actually, I haven't really played the second Project Cross Zone, so I don't know. But I know the second one has Virgil in it.
Nice.
Virgil is like Dante's like tag partner in the second one.
Virgil's so serious and so cool, and he uses like an honorable sword and stuff. He's fucking rad, yo.
I really like how Project Cross Zone in that game, they established like a whole like expanded universe, like a whole Marvel-esque like connected universe for all these characters.
Yeah.
Like there's a whole thing like Morrigan just like hangs out at Dante's shop sometimes and just like messes with him, like
it's like,
and I feel like that makes sense, right? Like,
yeah, no, I could totally see her just fucking with him. I think that's funny as shit. And honestly though, I haven't played either of the Project Cross Zones.
Oh, you should. They're kind of interesting. Like they get I get the criticisms with them. A lot of people say they get like repetitive, and they kind of do. But I thought the first one at least was pretty fun. Like, there's a whole thing, like, they meet Arthur from Ghosts and Goblins, and Arthur knows Dante because he knew Sparta. Like,
oh, God.
And they fought demons together and stuff.
Was he in the underwears?
That's super cool. That happens sometime. Yeah, after he does his, like, attack.
Underwears.
His armor breaks, and he gets into his underwear. And there's, like, a whole thing, like Jill and Chris, they know about like what happened in the Willamette Mall from Dead Rising. Like they're just aware of that. They're aware of the events of Dead Rising.
Yeah, they just had CNN on one day, and they're like, "Oh, I guess that happened."
And like House of the Dead and stuff. Like they know what happened. Like that's an event that happened in that universe.
House of the Dead Overkill, by the way, was fucking amazing.
That game rocks.
They need to make another one like that. I'm sorry, they just.
Well, the character, they didn't use a House of the Dead character, technically. They used a Zombie Revenge character, and Zombie Revenge was like a spin-off to House of the Dead. There was a beat-em-up. We've played that, actually. That's the Bullets game.
What?
Remember the game? You get guns, and you can pick up ammo for them.
And every time it's just like bullets.
Bullets, yeah.
What the fuck?
Zombie
God,
Revenge
that's
is the
been
Bullets
like so
game.
fucking long since we played that.
I know,
Holy
right?
shit.
We should record that
I think we played
one.
Windjammers before we...
No, we played Windjammers like recently at the not the barcade. We played
No,
Windjammers
we played that
at
at a mall.
At the mall, yeah.
Like oh yeah, like it's some sort of shopping center.
On that
yeah.
crazy like MAME, like 5,000 games in one machine.
Yeah. Everybody go out and support your MAME.
Go out and support your local arcade. It probably just has a MAME, like big MAME machine in it.
Yeah, do please support your local arcade. Like, kids these days, look, I'm gonna sound like an old person, and that's only because I am an old person. So let me just say, I sincerely believe in making arcades like accessible for kids, and not like little wimpy dipshit limp dick arcades. Okay, I mean like real ass fucking arcades. Us adults, we have our barcades that are in like several states on the East Coast. I think there's a couple on the West Coast too.
Last time we went to Barcade, we played all the way through Michael Jackson's Moonwalker.
We had a friend of mine, my filmmaker friend, and He's just like, how have I never heard of this game before? This is the best and most terrifying thing I have ever fucking played.
It was pretty great. I had never played the arcade version of Moonwalker before, actually. It's not the same game at all as the Genesis one.
It's kind of like the Ghostbusters game. It just changes style to each system.
Well, I know the arcade Ghostbusters game wasn't even a Ghostbusters game originally. It was something else entirely and then just got reskinned into a Ghostbusters game.
Okay, gotcha. That makes sense then.
Some of the Ghostbusters games are pretty good. I mean, some of them are really crappy.
The Wii one that we have is awesome.
That one's great. The Genesis one is great.
Do you remember when we played the Wii one at Otakon?
Yes, that was fun.
It's just like, yeah, we're gonna go back to our hotel room and have some fun. And we just bust out the fucking Wii.
I know, right? We're so lame.
I know, we are the biggest fucking losers, but I love it so much. But support your local arcades, please. Kids need arcades. Get them off of their get them off their iDroids and their I don't know, pomegranate, like okay, look.
Pomegranate? What?
Get them off their pomegranates and blueberries. Like take away their
blackberries even a thing anymore?
I mean, probably. Like, take away their fruit-based social media accounts and please put them into the arcades where they belong. Get your kids out of the house and into an arcade.
The nearest arcade for the average person is probably like 500 miles away. Like,
it's probably somewhere like in like over the Misty Mountains, some shit. I don't fucking know, but please get your kids into an arcade. They need that. They need to like get into fist fights with other kids over like who gets to put the quarter in the machine and like just hog the fucking Pac-Man machine for the next like 6 hours. Just like let them do it. Let them do it. It makes them stronger. It puts calcium in their bones.
It makes them like Billy Mitchell.
Oh, Bitchell, the one who fucking cheats?
The one who cheats and who sued Cartoon Network. And,
Fuck you, Bitchell! Fuck you, Bitchell!
From what
I'm sorry.
From what I understand, his hot sauce is pretty good, though.
Well, stick to hot sauce. That you probably ill-gotten money.
He probably stole the recipe to the hot sauce.
Oh
too.
My god, is he like the Mark Zuckerberg of fucking arcades?
Damn, we're just
ripping into everyone.
We're just committing all the slander today.
Look, just get your kids off of the MySpace and put them into the arcades.
What arcades? There are no arcades.
Build an arcade. If you build it, they will come.
So anyway, back to what we were talking about, like
Devil May
40
Cry,
minutes ago or whatever. Devil May Cry.
It's more like 5 minutes ago, but yeah.
No, it looks good. The gameplay looks great. A lot of the animations look pretty similar to Devil May Cry 4, like the way Nero plays. Looking at it, it looks quite similar to Devil May Cry 4.
They C-3PO'd him. It's like, oh, you probably didn't recognize me because my arm is different.
But no, it looks interesting. So from the look of it, there's going to be 3 playable characters. That's also what the kind of rumors going around before E3 were saying. Of course, it's going to be Dante, Nero, Virgil. That was what the rumor was saying. That makes a lot of sense. People are saying the guy who took Nero's arm, it looks like it was probably Virgil.
Just took us like, give me that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe.
So we'll see how that turns out. I'm optimistic. Again, regardless, I'm not super crazy about the redesigns on Dante and Nero. I think they looked better before.
Unsexy. Very unsexy.
With Itsuno in charge, he doesn't usually make bad games. I mean, he did make Devil May Cry 2, but he also made Devil May Cry 3.
Man, that's
so,
like
I mean,
worlds apart.
That's a jump in quality, right? But I mean, even when he's not on Devil May Cry, I mean, he made Dragon's Dogma. So I am optimistic. I think this is gonna turn out really well. He says, this is the Devil May Cry game he wants to make. This, he thinks this is gonna be the best one. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I want to see more.
I would also like to see more, and I kind of do hope that it is Virgil, for one specific reason. He'd be the best parent ever, because think about it. If you're grounded, he takes away your arm. It's like, nope. I'm taking away your fap arm.
Wow.
But dad, that's the only one that can... Nope. Taking away your fap arm. Best parent ever. Even better than Medusa from Soul Eater. Better than... God, let's just go through the list.
Well, I mean, even just Pokemon, or we've got Pokemon. We've got lots of bad parents in Pokemon.
Your dad was a gym leader in the one, and he was a total dick.
Oh yeah.
Fuck you, Norman.
In the manga, wasn't he like super abusive or something?
What? He just got drunk and beat the shit out of a Kangaskhan? Like, what the fuck?
I don't know. But and then there's like Giovanni, and Lucamine. Oh, we have so many terrible parents in Pokemon. Yeah, and even just your parents who are just not around.
You were left in the back of a fucking moving van with no seatbelt. Like, you're just getting knocked around, and they're like, oh god. And it's just sorry, I forgot you were back there, kiddo. Sorry, sport.
Games are just full of terrible parents. I mean, look, you got Dracula, you got Hojo. Like, Hojo was a scumbag.
Best parent.
Hojo was the biggest scumbag. But
biggest scumbag, bestest parent.
Hojo x Genova, best parenting couple ever. Good job, Sephiroth.
Somebody please make an AMV dedicated to Hojo and Genova, please, and just have it with what's that song? You'll be in my heart.
Oh God.
Or no, use the entirety of the Tarzan soundtrack. The Disney Tarzan soundtrack, and just set it to Hojo and Genova. Please make that a reality. Thank you.
Nobody's going to do that.
Just you wait. Okay, we have fewer than a dozen people who listen. They will.
No. Okay.
I'll make it.
Yeah, you'll probably wind up making it. So, strangely enough, they showed the Devil May Cry 5 trailer at the Microsoft conference, which wasn't really where I was expecting it to be. But, yeah, the Microsoft conference was actually really good.
They had stuff.
Strangely enough, it's nothing that makes me want to buy an Xbox One.
Strangely.
Because it's all multi-plat games that are also on PS4 and PC.
It's like, good. Stuff that we already have.
Right. Like, look at this conference full of games that I'm going to play on my PS4. It's like, okay, sure.
Microsoft is, look at this stuff. Isn't it neat? Wouldn't you think and everyone's like, bah, bah. It's like, we have it too, bah. And it's like, okay, please stop hurting me.
Right. Like, it's weird. Microsoft probably had the best conference too. I think out of everyone except Devolver, obviously. But Microsoft had the best showing. But yeah, there's no exclusives on Xbox really. I mean, there's Halo, which we got a little teaser for, and I mean, there's Gears of War, I guess, which I mean looks fine.
I know at least two people who'll be excited for that.
What, Halo or Gears or both?
Halo.
Oh, okay.
Just Halo.
Halo, I mean, people still like Halo, I guess. You don't hear as much about it. I feel like it's not as big as it used to be. Maybe it is, and I don't know. Probably the exclusive announcement that I thought was the hypest was Battletoads, and we didn't even get any footage of that. They're just like, oh, Battletoads. Didn't I call that? Didn't I mention that before E3?
I think you did, actually, yes.
I think it would be cool if they did a Battletoads game.
So you could just straight up call up your local GameStop and say, hey, do you got Battletoads?
And now they will have Battletoads.
And they'll be like, as a matter of fact, you little fucker.
Well, they will until they go out of business.
Oh, yeah, right. Yep.
Oh, that's a shame.
Rip.
But, yeah, there was so much cool stuff. The new From Software game, Sekiro, that looks super cool, and that got announced at the Microsoft conference. Another game I'm likely going to buy for my PS4.
I honestly, God, feel like you do have a bit of a hard-on for From Software.
I do, honestly.
Like, you didn't seem like at all opposed to Lost Kingdoms.
From the little I played of Lost Kingdoms, I actually liked it quite a bit.
Yeah, wait till you run out of cards, motherfucker.
I mean, maybe I just need to get good. Maybe you never got good, and we're just bad. But no, From Software, before Souls, I only really knew them from a couple other things, namely Armored Core, which is a pretty great series.
It is, I will say, yeah.
And the Otogi games for original Xbox, which are fantastic. games that not a lot of people have played. They're like truly exclusive to the original Xbox. They're not even backwards compatible. Like,
damn.
The only way to get the only way to actually play them is to have an original Xbox,
which we do right in front of us,
yeah.
like a good 5 feet away from us.
Oh yeah, and those games, they're just really good. They have a similar, I feel like, kind of storytelling style as Souls a little bit, where it feels like you're only kind of given half the story and are left to kind of figure a lot of it out yourself. The gameplay is closer to more of a Devil May Cry-ish kind of thing, more like sort of juggles, but the environments are all completely destructible, which is super cool, right? And you have moves that can like send enemies flying, so you send them like it kind of like Devil May Cry 2, but except in Devil May Cry 2 where the battlefields were just big empty things of nothing.
Yeah.
In that game, you have these big stages full of like destructible stuff that you can send enemies like smashing through.
You know, that kind of makes me think of EDF,
damage.
but like better.
Kind of. Yeah. That's one of the things I always loved about EDF or Earth Defense Force, if you're not familiar.
EDF.
Is how like everything in the environment you can just blow up. It's really great. And the buildings like just collapse, and EDF's fun.
That's fucking awesome.
But yeah, Otogi's really cool. And you can just like sort of keep jumping, so you can get like real high in the air and juggle things, and then send them smashing back into the ground. And then when they hit the ground, they leave like big craters and stuff. But yeah, so Otogi.
That's fucking awesome.
If you've never played Otogi, and have access to an original Xbox, I'd recommend it. Again, From Software, they're pretty great. But yeah, Sekiro, which honestly sounds really interesting. It's a feudal Japan samurai themed Souls game, which I mean that's already kind of out there with Nioh, but this is From Software themselves making it. Also, it's from what they've said, they're sort of cutting out a lot of the RPG elements from Souls. There's going to be less, like, sort of customization, less... But it's supposed to be more, like, action-y. Like, now there's a whole, like, grappling hook mechanic. So they're taking kind of the core mechanics of Souls, but transferring it into more of an action game rather than more of an RPG. Which I think I'm okay with. I actually... out of all the, Souls-ish games they've done, I think Bloodborne is my favorite. And I think one of the best things about Bloodborne is it kind of streamlined out a lot of the more sort of extraneous RPG elements. A lot of the, like, having to grind for materials and things. I mean, you still have to do that a little bit in Bloodborne. But a lot of that grind is kind of pushed to the side for more of an action-y kind of experience. And I like that about Bloodborne, actually. So I'm really looking forward to this one.
That will be actually really cool. Actually, I really think so. And from a little bit of Bloodborne that I played, I really fucking enjoyed. Like, I played some of Dark Souls. I played some of fucking Bloodborne, of course. I haven't played a whole lot of either one of them because I kept getting distracted by, like, other various shit. Like, we'll get into what distracted me later. Because I have many things to say about the various games that have distracted me.
Sure.
Let's get back into E3 shit, I guess. But
right.
Yeah, no, definitely want to see more about that. And who doesn't love feudal Japan?
Sure, yeah.
I mean, except for the people who had to live through that era.
Well, it's weird because there's a lot of feudal Japan-themed games coming out, all in that sort of same gameplay style. Because at Sony's E3, they announced there's going to be a sequel to Nioh, which, again, I'm looking forward to that. Nioh, yes. Nioh. Two kings, I think that means in Japanese. But, yes, there's going to be a sequel to Nioh, which I thought was really good. I think that was one of my favorite games from last year. It's probably, of all the, Souls games not from Software.
Yeah.
I think it's probably been the best one. I am looking forward to Code Vein, which again is a Souls sort of style game.
Dem customization options, dude.
Yeah, I was watching the trailer showing their customization options. It looks really nice. Again, it's from the God Eater people, so expect something about on par with God Eater. But yeah, that
Including
looks really
costumes.
good. Yeah, and there's God Eater collaboration costumes if you're in a God Eater and want to make your guy look like a God Eater character. But there was that other game at Sony's conference, the oh god, I forget what it was called.
Help me out here, friendo. What's it called?
I just said I forgot what it was called.
What's it like?
It's the Sony Samurai game. Oh god, my mind is blanking on what it's called. But
Sony Samurai game, E3 2018. Oh god, the glory of the internet. Ghost of Tsushima.
Ghost of Tsushima, yeah.
Tsushima.
Which that also looked pretty interesting. Of all the stuff, of all the like big first party Sony games, I thought that one looked the most interesting. That game had it had some interesting combat. Again, it looked very like Souls inspired on the combat. Out of the three kind of samurai themed Souls games that were at E3, I think that was like the most I think it was the most like different looking in the sense that it was more like a cinematic thing, kind of like most of Sony's games. I think personally it was probably the least interesting, but more because it was going for more of a historical samurai thing, whereas I prefer the like more folklore supernatural stuff.
I thought you were just gonna get into like being like, yeah, like with fucking like what's her name, like with Kai just stomping the ground and fucking water just shoots out of the fucking ground like crazy
like
shit.
Samurai Warriors.
It's like more obnoxious, insane, crazy shonen bullshit.
Oh yeah, we need more Sengoku Basara.
Gotta have like 6 fucking staves all at once or something.
Where Masamune Date wields 6 swords at once. And
yeah,
I think,
take that fucking what's his name? Take that, Zoro from One Piece.
I know, right?
Shit, man.
You can only use 3 swords. What a loser.
Yeah. If you stick another one up your butt, you can get 4.
But yeah, I thought the Sony conference was actually a little underwhelming.
Yeah, it was a bit weak.
Not a whole lot of new announcements. What they were kind of showing off either wasn't super interesting. Like I'm still not sold on their Spider-Man game. I think the footage this year was probably better than the footage last year. It made it look more interesting. But it still looks kind of overly like cinematic, overly scripted.
So basically, Sony conference was just like, it could be summed up as, oh, that's neat, I guess.
Kind of.
Man.
And they had a lot of weird like little musical interlude things, and it was just like, what?
At least it wasn't a total meme conference.
Well, we have a lot of meme conferences, but and Sony, of course, starting off with The Last of Us 2, which looked okay. They're saying a lot of that wasn't like in-game footage. A lot of it was like pre-recorded stuff that, and it's like, okay.
It's too bad PT wasn't announced.
No, we did see.
God dang.
Some
Excuse
of. Me. You feeling a little gassy?
It's this fucking Pepsi. Diet Pepsi makes me burp a lot.
Okay.
Please sponsor us.
And of course, we got the controversy because it started with 2 girls kissing in the Last of Us trailer. So of course,
for fuck's sake, I couldn't even tell the one was a girl.
Actually?
Yeah. They were both kind of hideous.
Well, yeah.
Who cares, though?
Well, apparently, like, parents or something. I don't know. People apparently care about that still.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, what? Happy Pride Month.
I know, right?
Like, I don't want to get political, but, like, look, yeah, it's cool to think it's like, oh, like... okay, I'm not gonna say it's cool to think, but it's like, yeah, you could totally have your opinions, but at the same time, it's just like, if you don't like that the game contains two incredibly hideous lumps of data, like putting their data lips on the other one's data lips, then don't fucking play it.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Fucking, if you don't, like, do you go in to fucking Ace Combat being like, I fucking hate planes? Do you do that? If you do that, there might be something deeper wrong with you.
No, sure, that's
I don't watch Thomas the Tank Engine for two reasons. One, I'm not 3, and 2, weird, creepy ass train faces freak me the fuck out. Another reason I don't watch JJ the Jet Plane or the Cars movies or the Planes movies or any of that shit.
So like very expressive vehicles make you
upset. It makes me really uncomfortable. I mean, look at them, and then they look at you.
It's like cars shouldn't have faces. Oh God, Vicky, really?
No, it's not that they shouldn't have faces. They have creepy faces. Like, the ones that are worse are you fucking admitted to, the JJ the Jet Plane planes.
Well, that's because the animation's really bad in that show.
Like, it looks like weirdly smooth putty. It's kind of like a Legion face just popping out the side of... I don't know, man. It's creepy as shit, though. That is not normal. There was somebody did the devil's work. That is the work of the devil. Right. Not two polygons slapping their polygon lips on each other, but that is the work of the devil.
And it's like, if you don't approve of that or whatever, then don't play it. Like...
Yeah, you don't like The Simpsons?
Get
don't watch it.
And I get, like, some people want to complain, it's pandering or whatever. And on one level or another, it probably is. Yeah. And I want to explain that a little bit. Because I feel like that's a criticism that comes up a lot, and it's kind of a dumb criticism for a lot of reasons. And the idea is that most games, like, it's not a single person making all these decisions for every game.
Yeah.
Decisions get made at a lot of different levels of, corporate decision making. You have your, development teams decisions, and then you have, directors and higher ups at the company. So somewhere along the lines there, somebody at Sony probably said, this'll play great with all those, hipster liberal arts games journalists. They'll love it. They'll eat it up. We'll get all the game awards.
We'll get all the avocado toast.
Looking at the people at Naughty Dog, a lot of them seem really passionate about this kind of thing. Yeah. So I feel like that's probably a story they wanted to tell. It's like I'm sorry to interrupt, but it probably feels safer now, actually, because maybe it is pandering, but maybe it's more like, oh, doors have been opened where we could play this without it getting protested super hard by nut jobs. Sure. And I mean, that goes for everything. I see that a lot, kind of argument a lot against, very fan servicey games, things, people will go after, stuff like Senran Kagura or whatnot.
Yeah, and if people will go after that beach volleyball game.
Sure. But when you look at that, it's just pandering. Well, I'm sure somebody at a corporate level was like, yeah, we can sell body pillow covers out the ass for this. Do it. But then if you look at the actual development team and what some of them have said, look at what Takaki, the director of the games, has said. He seems like he's legitimately passionate about these games. He seems like he's into it. He's the tits are life, ass is hometown guy. This seems like he seems like he's making what he wants to make. He's not doing it for pandering, even though it got approved somewhere along the process, because yes, this can be used for pandering. So when you just go, oh, this is bad because it's pandering, that's such a lazy criticism, I think, and it fails to take into account the fact that there were a lot of people working on this, and somewhere along the lines there was probably someone who was pretty passionate about it, who really wanted that as part of the, artistic vision. Look at, Yoko Taro, about where, somebody asked him about the design of 2B, and he had, a reasoning for it. There was an in-universe sort of reasoning, this is so far in the future, like, this is so advanced, like, we couldn't possibly know what a robot is going to look like, 10,000 years in the future or whenever Nier Automata
Yeah, because it's, like,
place.
ridiculously far in the future.
But then he's just like, maybe I also just like pretty girls. Like...
Exactly.
And, I mean, that's all you really need. That's fine.
It's like, I want to make the game that I want to make.
Right, and if you want to make a game about, two girls kissing or what have you, then go for it. I think that's fine. I think, let developers make what they want to make.
And another thing on the pandering thing, if I may interject, yeah, maybe it is pandering, but isn't everything pandering? Your problem is it's not pandering to you.
Sure. No, I agree. Again, basically anything you're trying to sell to someone is pandering on some level.
Nobody puts out a multi-million-dollar game expecting it to not sell.
Right. I mean, the entire premise of something like Smash Brothers, that's pandering. It's a different kind of pandering, but the whole premise is pandering.
Yeah, they want you to have your little nerdgasm and be like, oh my gosh, Pip can fight Link! It's like, yeah, that's great, kid. Shut
That's
the
how
fuck.
kids talk.
I don't know what children these days sound like. All I know is that they don't know what the fuck an arcade is.
But yeah, that brings me to something else I want to talk about. Not quite related to E3, but the game Omega Labyrinth Z, or I guess Omega Labyrinth Z if you're one of our Canadian friends.
If you're somewhere across the pond or a very small estuary, like...
A small estuary. Yes.
I don't fucking know, man. On the moose. Go ahead.
That game was slated for localization by a company called P-Cube, who localizes a lot of looter games. They localized Galgun and Valkyrie Drive. Speaking of games about girls kissing other girls, but. They were localizing a game called Omega Labyrinth Z, which is a game about girls becoming more powerful and making their breasts grow, and you storing power in their boobs to unleash super attacks. And if they let too much power store in their boobs, they'll get too big and they'll develop back problems.
Wow.
And so, yeah,
real life the game.
it's very obviously it's very sexualized. There's a whole mechanic where to appraise your items, you have to like rub them between the girl's boobs.
Just smack her in the tits with your fucking like. It's like, oh god, is this cheeseburger okay? Here, get over here, oh Pai Chan. It's like,
yeah, just stuff it between her chest.
It's like, oh god, there's bacon grease in there.
Well, that's someone's fetish, I'm sure. But
no,
it's a little gross. But so apparently that game was basically submitted to Sony for approval because it was going to be for PS4 and Vita. It's already out in Japan. It's been out for a while, I think. But Sony actually denied it. Now it had already been through the ESRB. It got an M rating with the ESRB. It got the 18 rating or whatever from the PGI. It was refused classification in the UK, which might have had something to do with Sony's decision. So it couldn't be sold in the UK. I think it was also blocked in Germany and probably Australia because Australia blocks everything. But
oh please, they blocked that Peppa Pig episode about spiders. About how you shouldn't be afraid of spiders. Well, I mean, I guess if you're in Australia, you should be afraid of spiders.
That's true. But did you Peppa Pig is banned in China for promoting gangster attitudes? That's the official statement from the Chinese government.
I want to meet the Peppa Pig gangsters. I want to meet you. If you are a Peppa Pig gangsta, I would love to meet you and interview you. What is your life? What is your culture?
But no.
Do you whistle? Do you beat up people who can whistle? Submit it to our email.
That clip was pretty gangsta. Her just like hanging up the phone on her friend.
That happened between me and a friend of mine in real life. So that was awkward. I can whistle. I was Susie Sheep.
I actually can't whistle. So
loser.
But Omega Labyrinth Z. So they submitted it to Sony for approval, and Sony was like, no. And they came. Well, according to their official statement, the game was denied release by the platform holder. That's interpreted as being Sony, because Sony is the, platform holder. So, yeah, the game's just not going to come out, which really sucks, actually. It sucks for P-Cube. I hope they can recoup those costs somehow. They've been talking about maybe doing a PC port, like a Steam port.
I was going to say, yeah, it's like Steam?
And Steam recently did say, basically, anything is allowed on Steam as long as it's not illegal. There was that whole...
Honeypot fiasco.
Right. There was some, religious group or something complaining about a bunch of, lewd anime games on Steam. I know they sent a notification to the Honeypot dev, which are the Honeypot people, that the game was going to be removed from Steam unless they took out certain content, and a bunch of other sort of, dating sim kind of games got that same treatment. And then Steam just sort of went back on it. They're like, you know what? We're going to allow whatever. And there's Vicky burping again.
I just finished my can of Diet Pepsi.
Now, let's see if it actually is the Pepsi. Because if she keeps on burping...
I'm sorry.
We might have to take Vicky to the emergency room. We might have to cut this one short.
I'm really sorry, guys. I'm not usually like this.
She's always like this.
Fuck you, you lying little whore. Don't listen to this fucking harlot, this fucking scarlet letter, this strumpet.
But
I'm lying. He's a very sweet man. I'm just abusive.
Vicky is the abusive one.
You shut the fuck up.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Okay.
But no, so Omega Labyrinth Z.
I love you.
I love you too. It was banned by Sony. So I am hoping this doesn't wind up, P-Cube doesn't get working designs here. And for anyone who doesn't know, that is what caused Working Designs to shut down, was they were working on a game for PS2. And it was all finished. It was all localized. It was actually a Goemon game, if you're familiar with the Goemon or Mystical Ninja series. And they submitted it to Sony, and Sony said no. I don't know
why this is funny.
It kind of, in hindsight, it's kind of funny.
Sony said no.
At the time, Working Designs had no way of getting the money they put into the game back. They wound up shutting down. And Working Designs, for better or for worse, I feel like Working Designs kind of opened up the door a lot for sort of niche Japanese games coming over. Their localizations weren't always the best. They always took a lot of weird liberties with games when localizing them. They'd always try to, we're going to improve the gameplay in this game. We're going to rebalance it. And they usually made it worse. They localized Silhouette Mirage. And they're like, we're going to make all the power-ups cost 5 times as much as they originally did because we want to make the game harder. And you just wound up never using the power-ups because they were impossible to afford. You literally had to grind for anything in I love Silhouette Mirage. It's a cool game. But Working Designs made it worse, not better, honestly.
They should have had a nightclub level where you just walk over to somebody and grind on them so that you could grind for items.
Was that a joke?
Yes.
Are you okay?
Yes.
Are you sure we don't need to take you to the hospital?
I think I burped out a portion of my brain.
But yeah, I hope things are, things go okay for P-Cube. I know PlayAsia had said something about maybe picking up the game for distribution in Asia, maybe, which would be cool. Asian English releases for games are really good. I have picked up a couple of those so far, and I know there are a few more coming out that I'm interested in. Bullet Girls Fantasia actually looks awesome.
Oh, God.
Oh, Jesus. And that's the same sort of, weirdly lewd kind of fantasy game, and it looks great, honestly. It looks like a fantasy-themed EDF with cute girls. There we go. We're talking about Earth Defense Force again. But
really good game series. We were going to review EDF back when we first started our channel, but then we realized, oh shit, this doesn't capture in HD.
Yeah, I know.
And we're fucking poor as shit.
Yup. Contribute to our Patreon that doesn't exist.
Yes, I was gonna say I haven't set that shit up, and I don't feel like it. Please just throw money at where you think we might be.
Fax us some money.
Fax us unmarked money. And coins. Fax us some coins.
Yeah, mail us those Sacagaweas.
Do you actually... wait, who still uses faxes, though? Did you know that it's actually still more secure than fucking email?
I'm not surprised.
I'm going to hack into a fax machine with a telephone in a telephone booth.
Well, just like that movie, Hackers.
So here we are talking about, like, early 2000s cool again.
Oh, yeah. Hackers was, like, the most 90s cool thing ever.
Oh, God. No.
But,
yeah, Angie, you're never going to forget that one, are you?
So, okay. Right, Omega Labyrinth. So, yeah. That's something I feel like people should be getting more mad about. That I hope Sony gets a little bit of blowback for that, because honestly, it's a scummy thing to do. You know, if someone doesn't like the content of the game, they don't have to play it. You know, if you think, oh, you know, I'm offended by this, or, you know, this isn't to my taste, don't play it. It's very, very simple.
It's like, you don't just accidentally spend $50, $60 on something you don't want to play.
Right.
And they just shove those anime titties in your face, like I'm sure on most boxes, like, because then you'll know exactly the type of game. So
right, it's not like it's tricking you into buying it. It's not like, you know, you're getting Phalanx on Super Nintendo or whatever, where with the like farmer guy on the cover.
Yeah, I couldn't figure out what the fuck was happening there. No, it's not like you're being sold a cutesy little magical girl anime. It turns out to be some sort of deep, dark, existential crisis that fucks you up for the next, like, 7 years.
Vicky's still really upset about Madoka. I guess it's a spoiler to say Madoka is, like, really dark.
See, I wasn't even going to go into the fact that it was Madoka, but yeah, no. Look at the Madoka opening, then go watch the Madoka ending. That two very different vibes you're getting here. Fuck you, Madoka. Fuck you for fucking me up after episode 3. And we're not going to say what happens in episode 3, but trust me. Watch up to episode 3 before you decide whether or not you like it.
So Madoka's pretty great, but
We need a Madoka game. We need Madoka Smash Brothers.
There is a Madoka game. I know there's at least one for the Vita. Madoka.
Oh, that's Ed System.
Battle Pentagram, I think it's called. I've never played it. It only came out in Japan. I've seen some footage of it. It looks okay. If I could import it for, like, not crazy prices, I probably would. But a Kill la Kill game got announced.
Yes!
So that should be interesting.
Segue right into that anime bullshit.
Yeah, it's going to be... everyone was real excited at first because it was Arc System Works. Mm-hmm. But it turns out Arc System Works is only publishing it. They're not the developer for it. I forget who the developer was. And we haven't really seen any gameplay footage or anything yet, so... you know, we'll see. I was really hoping it would be, you know, an Arc System Works fighter.
I was hoping it would be Platinum, to be honest.
Well, I mean, from the start of the announcement, from, like, the countdown, like, teaser, we knew it was going to be Arc System Works.
Yeah, no. But I meant back in the past.
Well, yeah, a Platinum Kill la Kill game, that would be pretty nice. Platinum did have one announcement, I think, at E3, which was that Square Enix game. Oh, God. What was that called? I don't remember. Is it like Babylon's Fall, something like that?
Oh, I know the one you mean. Fuck. Just describe it to me and I will remember what it's called.
It had, like, knights in it. It looked soulsy.
And we started geeking out super hard about it. We're like, what the fuck is this? This looks amazing.
Like, this looks really cool. This looks and then it's like, oh, Platinum, oh, snap. But, yeah.
Then we all screamed.
I mean, it was just a little teaser. We don't have any idea what the gameplay is going to be like. But, yeah, it looked really cool. Just from the little bit we saw.
Yeah.
It was Babylon something. Something about Babylon, I think.
Oh. Damn, this is going to bother me.
So, yeah, that was cool. Are you getting a call?
Yeah, I was for 2 seconds there, yeah.
Okay. Good. Very professional, Vicky.
Sorry, my phone just does that shit sometimes. People call me for some reason, and I don't know why.
Oh, well, look at you, Miss Social Butterfly.
I have, like, 2 friends, and one of them is right here.
So yeah. So let's move on to the best show of the conference from the great people at Devolver Digital. Those guys are amazing, by the way. Like, they continued their trend of crazy nonsense this year.
Yeah, that was some really weird shit, and
Yeah.
I loved it.
It was pretty great.
It was making fun of, like, real-ass conferences super hard.
It made fun of a lot of, dumb industry trends. This
like,
is a
all of
Dreamcast,
that jargon.
but it's painted purple. It's like
Just like, shut up.
But no, that was pretty great. And of course, it ended with the one and only, you know it, Mech America Great Again.
Mech America Great Again.
Mech America Great Again.
I like how I said Mech America Great Again. Not Great. Yeah, you're right. It was called Babylon's Fall.
Babylon's Fall. Okay,
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
But no, yeah, we're getting Metal Wolf Chaos.
We are getting
bitches.
Metal Wolf Chaos.
We're
again,
finally fucking getting it.
There we go. From Software again.
Maybe I had them all wrong. But it's like, just because they fucked up one game doesn't
Just
mean...
because they live in Japan doesn't mean they're not really Americans at heart.
We're all Americans at heart. We're all sons of the Patriots.
We are all sons of the Patriots. But, I mean,
shit.
Metal Wolf Chaos, Vicky, I'm excited. I'm really glad I held off on buying the, $600 Xbox game. Because
boy, am I too.
I have been eyeing it for the longest time. I've been, very close on eBay a few times. I'm just like, nah.
You got money to spend on Metal Wolf Chaos.
I
You
did.
got money to...
Not right now, I don't, but I have in the past. And... at those times, it's like, do I want to blow this money on this one game? And it's like,
It's like, will
no.
Vicky murder me?
Maybe, she might. But now she doesn't have to, because Metal Wolf Chaos is coming to the West.
Thank you
And
so much. What were they called again?
Devolver Digital.
Thank you, Devolver Digital, for saving our relationship. And keeping me out of prison.
And, it's pretty much guaranteed to be getting a physical release, which is great. Devolver Digital actually has their own sort of limited physical game publishing deal, kind of like limited run games. They're called Special Reserve games.
Oh ho ho.
So
Delicious.
It will very likely get released through that if it doesn't get, a wide physical release. And on the off chance it doesn't get released through that, Limited Run Games has pretty much said, yeah, we'll pick it up if they don't do it themselves.
Because they know that it just prints money.
Yeah, basically. They know people want this thing.
You guys want your stupid bullshit.
Speaking of cringy conferences, we also watched the Limited Run Games conference on that terrible green screen background with the Windows Music Maker or whatever, with the instruments. What program is that? That Windows 95 ass program that they used to make them.
It's speaking of, once again, 90s cool things.
Yeah.
This wasn't even cool in the 90s. What the fuck are you kidding? God, I'm really thirsty.
But I love Limited Run Games. I buy a lot of their releases. Did
you just get something from them in the mail?
I actually recently got something from Devolver's, from the Special Reserve games.
Oh.
Which I'll actually get into when we're talking about what we're playing now, because I do want to talk about that game a little bit.
Got you, fam.
But Limited Run Games, they finally gave us a date for Salt and Sanctuary, which I am excited about. I've been looking forward to the limited run on Salt and Sanctuary. They announced a few other games. I know a lot of people are going to be excited probably for Valhalla. Which isn't as much my thing. It's more like a visual novel kind of thing. It's a callback to Snatcher and stuff like that, which I think a lot of people will be into. And they announced some more of their Switch games. I know at their after conference, there were some interesting announcements. They said they're going to start doing PS3 games. Basically, once they, stop with their Vita games, that's kind of what is going to take the place of Vita games, is they're going to do PS3 games, which is pretty interesting. There's a lot of stuff on PS3 on the, PSN store that hasn't gotten, released physically yet, and, I love collecting the physical games. I gotta have my box. So
You gotta have your little bits of plastic.
Exactly. I have to have it.
Though, isn't there going to be a problem with Vita games?
Well, physical Vita game production is ending later this year, so that's pretty much why they're going to be stopping with Vita games, I guess. Is they're not going to be able to make any more Vita games. But there are a bunch of PS3 games I would be interested in grabbing. You know, if they did Castle Crashers, if they did Double Dragon Neon, Blood Rain Betrayal, Hardcore Uprising. They said Scott Pilgrim is pretty much never going to happen because of all the licensing red tape around it, because they'd have to go through, Universal because of the movie rights, and then, Ubisoft, and then, whoever publishes the comic, and there's all kind of legal red tape around Scott Pilgrim. So that's never going to happen probably, which is a shame because out of all the digital PS3 games, that one kind of needs a physical version the most, especially because it's not available digitally anymore. You just can't buy it at all.
It's just going to be lost media.
I know, right? I'm glad I actually downloaded it on PS3.
And my PS3, too.
Yeah, so
there's 2 guaranteed copies in this house right now.
Right, so we can still play it. And that game's great. So it's a shame if that kind of gets lost on future generations, you know what I mean? That's kind of what I don't like about digital games, is there's no guarantee it's going to be around for people in the future. Like, somebody new to gaming today can still go back and buy NES games and experience, the past, right? Like,
Please don't call it the past. I know it's the past, but...
Right.
Dude, no.
But it's still there, and...
I remember when I could walk into a GameStop and pick up a copy of Metroid.
I feel like GameStop would probably be doing better now if they focused more on, like, retro game stuff.
And, if they still carried Amiibos.
Well, I mean, Amiibos, they weren't doing great, I don't think. I think Amiibos were over the hill.
I'm sad. I want more stupid Amiibos.
Well, there's a Ridley Amiibo coming.
Oh, fuck,
that's gonna be cool.
But where are you gonna put it? It's too big.
It'll be too big. And
That's still funny,
I'm assuming there'll be like a Snake. Snake will probably get an Amiibo. That'll be cool.
Are they gonna nerf Snake's ass?
They already did.
I mean, on the Amiibo.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. They nerfed Samus's boobs and they nerfed Snake's ass. That's a shame.
But hits her life and ass's hometown.
Exactly. Yeah, they should get Takaki once Sakurai dies because he's been overworked on Smash Brothers. They should get Takaki.
They're going to actually make an AI of Sakurai, put him in the game, and have him be Master and Crazy Hand.
I mean, if you saw him at the Nintendo conference, he looks like sickly now. He's got massive bags under his eyes. He was answering questions in the most tired way he could, and then he's like, "I'm gonna catch an early flight back to Japan so I can get back to work." It's like, damn, dude.
I think they just have an IV bag of 5-hour energy hooked up to this poor man.
It's like that poor guy.
Please, Papa Sakurai, please don't die on us. Please go take a vacation. We love you. Please.
It's like, don't die.
Happy Father's Day, Sakurai. So,
It's like, don't die before you can make Kid Icarus Uprising 2, please.
Wow. Don't die before you make this game.
Yeah. So, okay. I guess that takes us to Nintendo. I feel like there was something else I wanted to talk about. Oh, right. Speaking of cringy conferences.
Yeah.
We had the limited run one, which was, very obviously, cringy on purpose. But it still wasn't as cringy as the Ubisoft conference that came right after. With it, it had to start off with the Just Dance little skit, and that was the worst thing ever.
Yeah, watching it, I'm like, what the fuck is this?
It's like that was more cringy than the limited run conference that was purposefully as cringy as possible.
When you were watching it, there was that one song playing, and you're like, oh, what is the song? This is on Civa Gunner's channel. God.
Right, this is a Civa Gunner meme.
This is like, no, Robert, this is a real song.
I'm sure this is a popular real song, but I don't know what it is, because I don't care. I don't listen to the radio.
Fuck the radio.
But
Digital streaming media killed the radio star.
But Ubisoft, was there anything interesting at the Ubisoft conference? I don't even remember. Starlink looked interesting.
I don't even remember what the fuck that is.
That was their space shooty game, and they're doing a crossover thing with Star Fox with it, which is kind of cool.
Gotcha.
That's Ubisoft's Toys to Life game, because that isn't a sinking ship. As discussed with the Amiibos 5 seconds ago. But no, it actually looked pretty good. It looked like a good Star Fox game, which is nice because that's not something we've had for a while.
What the fuck is Star Fox? No, I'm just kidding.
I know,
what
right?
the fuck Star Fox is. But shit, man.
But yeah, I guess that brings us to Nintendo. So Smash Ultimate, that's a thing.
So everyone's back.
Everyone is back.
Everyone.
Even Pichu and young Link.
Because we need more Links.
We have 3 Links now.
It's like I wish the Pokemon team would cave the way Sakurai did and just say, okay, fine, here's all the regions, here's all the Pokemon, never ask me for anything again.
Oh, well, we did get to see more Pokemon Let's Go, which I'm kind of on Let's Go.
You know what we didn't see? Fucking Animal Crossing.
I was gonna say we didn't see Bayonetta 2. I have a whole list of things we didn't see.
Bayonetta 2.
Bayonetta 2 is near the top of things we didn't see.
You mean Bayonetta 3?
Or Bayonetta 3, I'm sorry.
I'm like,
I said Bayonetta 2.
Because, I'm pretty sure there's a whole thing there with, Loki, little dude throwing cards.
Yeah, we've got Bayonetta 2.
Daddy, time travel. Anyway.
I like how cool Bayonetta 2 made Baller, by the way. Like, I feel like
he was a badass motherfucker.
He was super cool, and I feel like Bayonetta 2, like, retroactively made the story of Bayonetta 1 that much better, because it made the villain actually, like, something instead of just some dude who comes out of nowhere.
No, I am your father.
Right.
Back to Star Wars.
Kamiya does that because that's how Beautiful Joe was too.
If you want the whole story, play all of my games. Play by all of my games.
Well, they all have like references and stuff. They always do that with the.
Yeah, Dante was in
games.
The one version of Beautiful Joe.
Right, and like. The chick on Dante's poster was on a billboard in Beautiful Joe. The chick with like the star pasties where he keeps his sword.
That's funny.
She was just like funny. On a random billboard in Beautiful Joe. And then there's all the like when Luke is talking about his girlfriends and it's all their names of characters from other Kamiya games. Like,
oh wow!
It's like Trish and Sylvia and Amy and. So.
And funny little reference here. Joe Pesci or whatever, Bayonetta's sidekick.
Oh yeah, Enzo. He was supposed to be a Devil May Cry character originally.
Yeah, and he was in the manga.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was just straight up in the manga. As much of as an annoying little fuck apparently that he was supposed to be.
Yeah, he was actually like supposed to be a character in Devil May Cry, and he just never made it into the final version.
Yeah.
He does basically the same thing he does for Bayonetta, like finding him work and stuff. I think in Devil May Cry, Lady has kind of taken that sort of role. But
yeah, I think so too. Yeah, it's kind of funny how much what's it called, like lore there is, but it's still not as much as not lore. How much weird, like, extra shit there is in the universe. It's kind of like with, all of Yoko Taro's shit, except on a much smaller scale.
Well, there's one, I don't know if I'm sure somebody noticed this, but if you look at it, the city where Devil May Cry 5 takes place, it's Redgrave City. I know in the novel, there was actually a novelization for the original Devil May Cry, and in the novel... Dante goes by an alias when he's dealing with, like, human people, and he goes by the name of Tony Redgrave.
Wow.
So, Redgrave, and I don't know if that was something, again, from the original, like, design documents for Devil May Cry or whatever, that, he went by the name Redgrave, but that's something that worked its way into Devil May Cry 5, Redgrave City.
I feel like somehow, like, I could be wrong, but wasn't, like, either Tony something or, like... Redgrave or something like that mentioned in one of the Bayonetta games?
I believe so. I believe the name Redgrave also came up in one of the Bayonettas somewhere. I forget where. I think it had to do with Luca, actually. Like
maybe.
I don't remember.
But, yeah.
So, yeah, again, that's interesting little bit of trivia.
I very much look forward to all this shit. Like,
yeah.
It gives me something to think about at night besides my life. Yeah.
Besides my crippling depression.
I was going to say crippling depression, exactly those words, and I'm like, don't say it. Up, you said it for me, cool.
Oh, well.
Crisis of existentialism.
Perfect. But no, it's kind of like, you know how in, like, the original script for Star Wars, his name was Luke Starkiller?
Yeah.
and how Starkiller was the code name for Darth Vader's apprentice. Yeah, he was Starkiller.
Yeah.
And then wasn't there a Starkiller in something else? Wasn't there a
Starkiller base
in the Force Awakens? The Starkiller base was like the new Death Star, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, that keeps coming back.
There's all sorts of callbacks. It's like the Illuminati might be involved. I don't know, man.
Is the Force Unleashed still canon? Probably not. That probably doesn't exist anymore.
Well, I mean,
remember how at the end of the Force Unleashed, the rebellion captures Darth Vader? Spoilers, I guess, if anyone cares about the Force Unleashed 2. And
what is that PS3 ass game?
Yeah,
and that's like 40 years ago.
That never gets resolved. We have no idea what happens there. Is that just like an alternate end?
He probably just force chokes everyone and just walks away and jumps into his big red mech.
Well, they have him in this like containment thing, and
they Magneto him
at the very end. You see like the prison, the like ship they have him imprisoned on, and then you see Slave One, Boba Fett's ship, is like following them. So it's like, does Boba Fett like help him get away? Was this supposed to lead into like a Boba Fett game where you have to save Darth Vader? Like, I don't know.
Oh man, all of the questions that have gone unanswered. Man, I fuck up my speech real good.
Yeah. So the Nintendo conference, again, that was mostly Smash. They had a couple other interesting announcements. That mech game looked super cool. Speaking of Armored Core, we had a mech game from one of the like producers or designers who worked on Armored Core. And you remember when that came up, and I'm like, what is this? Is this Armored Core? Because it looked like Armored Core, not just like because it's mechs, but the way everything moved, the way everything was kind of designed. It was very Armored Core looking, and then
you're like, what the fuck, Armored Core for the Switch? Oh, never mind.
And yeah, what was it? Daemon Ex Machina or something like that?
It was something like that. Like,
see that looked pretty cool. We didn't see any Bayonetta 3, which was a little disappointing.
Poopy.
We didn't see any of that Yoshi game they announced before. There was a Yoshi game, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure they announced a Yoshi game. We didn't see any of Metroid Prime.
That deeply upset me.
That was a little disappointing. We still have nothing on Metroid Prime 4. Going back to Square, we did not see any Final Fantasy VII.
Our predictions were right.
We were dead on with that. I mean, I think anyone could have called that after it came out. Oh, we're like restarting from scratch.
Man, that's just and you said it was originally CyberConnect 2.
CyberConnect 2 was the dev working on it originally.
Awkward. Well, I mean, after you've seen some of the certain game that I've been playing, is that good or bad?
I don't know. I don't know yet.
Meow.
We'll see. But we'll see what they do with it. I don't know. Kingdom Hearts looks pretty great, actually. I'm impressed with Kingdom Hearts 3. I think it looks good.
What the fuck?
Somebody's trying to get into our apartment, so that's weird.
I'll be right back. I'm just gonna peep this.
There was a tiny, child, yeah, somebody fed their gremlins after midnight, I think. Oh, okay. Everything good?
Somebody's nephew got loose and started attacking our door because he thought it was his aunt's door.
I see.
So, okay, it wasn't some sort of gremlin. It was apparently a child.
Well, that's good. It wasn't the beginning of the rapture, I guess, so...
I would have been the last one here. I'm not getting raptured out after all the anime titties I've just talked about. This is staying in, isn't it?
Well, I mean, we should probably cut out that long pause where you have to get up and check the door. But yeah, most of this is staying in. So what were we talking?
So we moved into
Kingdom
apartment,
Kingdom
by
Hearts
the way.
looks great. Kingdom Hearts. We're talking about Kingdom Hearts. Let's talk about Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, it looks good and stuff.
It does. It looks really good. Frozen World. I mean, we all saw Frozen World coming. That was gonna happen.
Yeah, it's not like you can get a more deserving fucking thing. I don't know, fucking Atlantis.
Vicky's gonna bitch about Atlantis now for 20 minutes.
Okay, let me just start by saying...
And I'm not even, like, Atlantis was a great movie. I actually thoroughly enjoyed Atlantis. I thought it was really good.
It has so much potential for Kingdom Hearts, though. Think of, like, the underwater Okay, let's skip that part. Never mind. Let's not talk about underwater exploration, because all I can think of is fucking Finny Fun, and I hate Finny Fun. I don't like Finny Fun. I don't want to swim this way, we dance and we play. So, back on the point, think of all the cool stuff you could do. You could be in Atlantis, you could, like... dodge, like, lava explosions, like, sacrifice Kita to, like, those fucking stone golems so she could protect the city from some dude wielding a gun. I don't know.
But you can't have guns, though.
It's not done by 4Kids. They don't just point at someone until they die or point at someone until they disappear.
Well, no.
And Nami's left without a mother.
That was a thing in the Pirates of the Caribbean world, though.
Oh,
they had to take out the guns. They had to give all the pirates crossbows.
Wait, stop. How the fuck you got pirates, but they ain't got no guns?
Well, they have, like, stretchy arms. That was a One Piece reference.
Did you... just point at somebody till they die.
Well, I mean, Luffy probably could. He was just, like, but he just stretch out and poke him in the eye or whatever. Like...
all the way back to the brain. He can just reach into your skull, squeeze your brain. Luffy has terrifying powers.
Yeah, Luffy's actually
legitimately terrifying.
Super strong. Oh yeah, Jump Force. That looks cool.
Yeah. Look, the point is, Kingdom Hearts needs Atlantis and needs also Black Cauldron.
So how are they gonna work in Light? That's weird, right?
What in Jump Force?
Because it showed Light and Ryuk at the end.
Yeah. In case you're wondering what the fuck we're talking about, Jump Force.
It's a like crossover fighting game with Shonen Jump characters, and in the trailer at the very end they tease Light from Death Note, and of course he's not a fighter. He just writes people's names in a book and kills them.
It's to be like Pokemon Trainer.
Well, I know in the like Jump Superstars games, which were for the DS, they were like kind of Smash Brothers-ish games, but with Shonen Jump characters, right?
Yeah.
Light, you couldn't play as Light, but he was like an assist character. You could summon him, and he'd appear on the screen, and he'd like start writing in the Death Note. And if he stays on screen for a certain amount of time, if he's allowed to like finish writing, you'll like instantly get a KO on somebody else on the screen. So, like something like that, make him kind of an assist character. But obviously if somebody hits him, he goes away.
He just fucks off because he's this little shitty 17-year-old.
Right. I hope they have Yugi. That'd be great.
Just have his cheat powers.
Well, no, you could play as him in Jump Superstars, and all his moves were, he like a summoner kind of character. Like his punch would be like he would put a card down on his duel disk, and then Gaia the Fierce Knight would pop out and start, like, stabbing with his lances.
So he's basically Pokemon Trainer.
Not quite. He's more like, he's like a Persona guy in Persona Arena or, like, Cross Tag Battle or whatever.
He's Carl Clover.
Kind of, but he can summon, like, different things. He's more like, oh god, what... I know there are characters who fight like that in other fighting games. I just can't think of one right now. He's kind of like, Zappa in Guilty Gear kind of has some stuff like that. Where he can make that ghost thing appear, and he can, like, stuff like that.
Zappa can do that. Dizzy can do that to an extent with her wings, doing weird shit.
Like, his low attack would be, like, he summons Curse of Dragon, and it, like, shoots fire, like, at a downward angle, and then his projectile, he summons, like, Dark Magician and Dark Magician Girl, and they shoot, like, a dark magic thing. I think the second one also had Kaiba. And Kaiba fights the same way.
Money.
Kaiba screws the rules with his money.
That's a reference.
That was a reference to a reference.
Wow.
Oh man, remember Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged?
Oh my god. Is that guy still doing stuff?
Little Karibo? I think so.
I can only remember the Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged voices for the characters.
I know, that's how I think of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Characters, honestly.
Screw the rules, I have money. I can't do it now.
I find it weird that when I hear, like, the Beavis and Butthead voices, I associate them with Rex Raptor and Weevil Underwood. Like...
Don't you mean Insector Haga?
Dinosaur Ryuzaki and Insector Haga.
Oh, full weeaboo. Go full weeaboo, senpai. Technically, I'm your senpai.
So what were we talking about? Oh,
Jump Superstars.
Well, we were talking about Kingdom Hearts, and then
you wanted me to stop bitching about Atlantis.
Yeah. Oh, also the gummy ship parts are actually not being handled by the actual Kingdom Hearts 3 team.
Thank
They're not
God.
being handled by Nomura. They're actually giving it to the Einhander team at Square.
Fuck?
Now, Einhander, Vicky obviously isn't familiar with Einhander, but Einhander was a shoot 'em up made by Square.
I have heard of Einhander, asshole.
Oh, okay. Well,
that's why I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh, okay. I thought that was an I don't know what that is. What the fuck? Not
Einhander, Zweihander, all that shit.
There was no Zweihander.
Yeah, there was.
That was a troll. That was I got rickrolled by that one time. I admit it.
Yeah, I think I sent you the YouTube link.
No, my brother sent me that.
Oh, well, I guess I sent it to you too. Whatever, fuck it.
For Zweihander, and it was a rickroll. But no, the Einhander team is doing the gummy ship parts, which left me thinking, wow, the Einhander team is still at Square Enix after 20 years.
They opened up their little cage.
What have they been doing?
They open the door that's just covered in dust. It's like, y'all still good in there? Can we please have more Doritos?
I guess? I don't know. They have cool Dorito flavors in Japan, though, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Let's get a butter-flavored Dorito. Just fuck it.
Butter-flavored Doritos.
No spice, only butter.
But yeah, Einhander. That's cool. So yeah, the gummy ship parts will actually probably be pretty good.
They were such a fucking chore. I hated putting the gummy shits together. And we're gonna get so much hate from people who were like, well, actually, the gummy ships were the best part of Kingdom Hearts.
I don't think anybody thought that.
I is an intellectual. It's like, oh my god, shut the fuck up.
I don't think anyone thought the gummy ship parts were the best part of Kingdom Hearts. I thought they were okay. I think I liked them more than most people. But I never built gummy ships. I just used the default ones.
I wanted to build one that would just fall apart and they'd all die.
But actually playing through the gummy ship sections was fine. It's like, okay, whatever.
Doing that part was okay, but actually building them was absolute trash.
Actually building them was so clunky and garbage, and yeah, I never bothered with it. I just used default ones.
It's like, let's just bathe in gasoline and then dry off with some nice fire. I'm so tired of the fucking gummy ships.
No, that's good. And now I'm trying to think, were there any other major game announcements that I'm blanking on, that I'm not thinking of?
God, what could we possibly be blanking on? I mean, there was clearly no Animal Crossing. There was clearly
Why are you
no
still
Metroid.
going on about Animal Crossing?
I want Animal Crossing!
There was nothing to lead us to expect Animal Crossing.
They should have one on every system. I'm mad that there wasn't one for Switch. I mean, Switch, for Wii U.
For Wii U.
And probably Switch too at this point.
I mean, there will probably be one for Switch, I think. I'd be surprised if there wasn't. Unless they decide to go mobile with Animal Crossing.
Stay mobile, you mean?
Well, yeah.
Because they have Pocket Camp.
They have Pocket Camp.
Which is, it's okay, I guess.
Do they decide to go all in on mobile with Animal Crossing? And that's kind of the question. Because I think out of all the stuff they make, Animal Crossing makes the most sense for mobile.
I mean, it's true. You're more likely to get, I don't know, like Mega Man 11 for Switch. Oh, wait! You are.
Well, I'm gonna get Mega Man 11 for PS4.
Okay, well, that's... okay.
Mega Man 11, yeah, well, Mega Man 11 exists. That was announced a while ago. I think we talked about that already.
Yeah, probably, honestly.
But, we did see a little more of Mega Man 11, I think. I think there was a new trailer. But yeah, that's looking good. We saw some more Soul Calibur 6, which looks pretty great. Some more Code Vein, which, again, I'm really excited for.
Fire Emblem, which...
They did. They announced a new Fire Emblem. Fire Emblem, what was it, 3 houses?
Yes.
We'll see. Is this one going to be split into 3 games this time? Because they split the last one in 2.
Gal Metal, Galaxy.
Are you just going through a list of games?
No, I have this all memorized in my mind. Killer Queen Black.
Oh, right. That is apparently some kind of thing.
Mario Rabbids DLC, Mario Tennis Aces,
That's
Monster
already
Hunter
out.
Generations Ultimate.
That's a lot of these are things that are already out.
Ninjala. What the fuck is Ninjala?
I don't remember.
Octopath Traveler. Hey.
Was there anything interesting at the Ubisoft conference? I don't even remember.
Let me check my memory
banks.
Right.
Beyond Good and Evil 2 actually looked pretty good. Surprisingly, for an Ubisoft conference and a Ubisoft game, I thought that looked good.
Yeah, dude, Jade looked pissed as shit.
Right?
Like, actually, she looked super fucking pissed.
I mean,
like, she was gonna roll up and just stab a bitch.
Like, the CG trailer actually looked really nice. The little bit of gameplay they showed, that looked pretty good. The only thing I'm worried about, there's a lot of speculation that's actually going to be a next-gen game that's not going to be for current-gen consoles, which, I mean, that would kind of suck.
Tales of Vesperia, a definitive edition.
Oh, wow, how could I forget that? I'm excited for that,
because
actually.
You don't have a memory bank like I do. I'm looking at a phone screen.
Right, well, I mean,
it's
E3,
a memory.
E3 was like 2 weeks ago at this point.
Yeah.
But,
wait, Total War, 3 Kingdoms. How many 3 Kingdoms are there?
3. There are 3 kingdoms.
There are three Kingdoms.
But no, there's a lot of games based off the 3 kingdoms.
So Zelda.
Okay, Vicky, I'm gonna talk about Tales now.
Oh God!
Stop reading your list.
Stop yelling at me.
But no, Tales of Vesperia is great. Best Tales game.
He's super hype right now.
I know, because Tales of Vesperia is so good. And we're finally getting all the extra content from the PS3 version, which never came out in the US before. And this is sort of the big, I think it's the 10-year anniversary for Tales of Vesperia.
Wow.
And yeah, I know, right?
That's
it's weird. That feels like it didn't come out that long ago.
That's not cool, man. Don't.
And there have been like 20 Tales games released since then.
Oh shit! Really?
That was an exaggeration. Actually, maybe it wasn't. Counting all the like mobile spin-off games and crap, yeah, there probably have been 20 Tales games. But no, Tales of Vesperia. Again, of all the Tales games I've played, it is my favorite. And it will be nice to have like a definitive edition of it finally. So yeah, that again, I usually rag on the like, oh look at that, it's a remaster it's an HD remaster of a game that was already in HD.
Pandering.
Yeah, there you go.
But now they're pandering to you.
I know, right? It's but this is one I'm actually probably gonna buy again. Because it's such a good game. It's actually got new content. I hate when they do that. It's just like, it's the same game again. Like, you at least put something new in it, you know?
Yeah, add like a 4th game if it's in a 3-game series, even if it's only 2 hours long.
Oh, well, I guess that means Vicky wants to talk about what she's playing now.
Well, first, before that, you forgot about Super Meat Boy Forever.
Oh, that had been announced a while ago, I think. But yeah, Super Meat Boy's fun. So
and We Happy Few, which actually looks cool as shit.
We Happy Few looks interesting.
Yeah, Warhammer. But I guess it's about time we start talking about what we've been playing.
You done going through your little Google list there?
It's not a Google list. It's on a very well-known gaming website.
You're not on Kotaku, are you?
No, Christ, no.
All right.
After ripping on them in the first episode, fuck no. Did you want to go first about what you were talking about?
No, you clearly are chomping at the bit here to talk about dot hack, whatever.
It's known as dot hack.
352 days over 8.
Duodecim.
Super turbo. # reload.
You know, it's the dot hack trilogy plus a 4th game, so now it's a quadrilogy. It's dot hack GU, Last Recode. Now, this is the second set of dot hack games. They were originally on the PS2, but I got this PS4 version, and it has all 3 of the dot hack GU games, plus a 4th one, known as, what the fuck, I think it's called Recode, or just Recode, just Last Recode.
It's like Last Recode or something.
Yeah, the 4th one is just, I guess, Last Recode. Apparently, like, I did a little reading on that one. I didn't do any spoilers, of course, though. It's only a few hours long, and it's at the time when the world is that's the name of the game in the game. The World R2, like revision 2, I guess. It's on its last days, and they're shutting down the servers in the game. So, wow.
Right. This is like a game within a game deal. It's like a Sword Art Online type thing, if you're familiar with that.
Okay, excuse me. This is long before Sword Art Online, and Sword Art Online is trash.
Yeah, but people actually care about Sword Art Online and know what it is.
Okay, here's the difference between GU and... Sorry, here's the difference between .hack and Sword Art Online. .hack is good. It's very talky. Less actiony than Sword Art Online, which is like, oh, flashy lights, ooh, fan service, ooh, you fuck your cousin. Look, nobody cares. I am a woman of culture.
Because your game where it's about your edgelord character playing a game and getting all the waifus because he's great at the game for no good reason. Oh, which one am I talking about? Oh, I don't know. Both of them. Yep. Sorry.
Okay, I might cry a little, fuck you.
But,
okay, so, yeah, no. Yeah, .hack GU. So, for those of you who don't know, yeah, Robert's basically right. You play as this little teenage edgelord named Haseo, or at least his character is named Haseo. And, his account was imbued with the power of one of the original phases of the wave. The wave of, like, Morgana or whatever, like, some fucking, like, Twilight. You're just looking at me and I can't focus.
This is like a Jehovah's Witness came to my door. Like...
Jehovah's Witness came to your door.
Okay, what's good about the game? Why should people play it?
Okay, you play game for good story. This is by CyberConnect 2. It's a game... Okay, so you're playing this game for, if you are already a fan of the .hack series. It's based off of the .hack anime .hack roots, not .hack signs. So, no Tsukasa, no Kite, no Black Rose, nobody that you fucking know, okay? But... Now,
the games came first, right? The anime was based off the games, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't think so in this case, because... they had, like, some callbacks to the actual show in the games. Like, they have wallpapers of the anime in the games. Like, for your fictional desktop. Huh. So, they talk about, like how they were part of the, like, Brigade of Twilight. Or the Twilight Brigade. It's a guild that's in the game. With Haseo, Shino, and Ovan. They were all in this fucking guild looking for this thing called the Key of Twilight. And if you've already seen the anime, you already know what the Key of Twilight is.
Right, but that doesn't mean, like...
You do not need to watch the anime to enjoy the games.
Like, even, like, Final Fantasy 15, there was an anime for that. And there are callbacks to the anime, like, in the game. The anime actually served as a prequel to the game, but, I mean, the game was still, like, the main thing. The anime was still based on the game.
I still think that the anime came first for this.
Okay.
It might have actually been released concurrently. I don't quite remember, because the last time I touched the .hack series was like 11 years ago or 10 years ago. So,
Yeah.
So, yeah, you get 4 games on one disc, or at least 3 games in one,
sort of epilogue.
Epilogue, thank you. I'm like, what the fuck is the word for it? Yeah, so, it plays like, you run around, you compared it to, what's it called?
It looks like Tales or like Star Ocean, something like that. There's, symbol encounters. It's not random. You encounter enemies sort of on the map, and then you go into a battle screen.
Yeah.
And you fight them.
Yeah.
So it's not like a seamless thing. It's not like Kingdom Hearts or like Nier Automata, but it's not just random battles either.
Yeah, no,
so it's like Tales. Tales is similar.
Yeah. And you can definitely like avoid enemy encounters if you're like slick enough. Like you could just like walk away from them. It'll tell you when you're getting too close. Like, so it's pretty decent. But it's a lot of repetitiveness. Like, I'm trying to 100% the fucking first game. I've dumped 32 hours into Volume 1, which is called Rebirth. And I'm almost at 100% for this fucking thing. It's so repetitive. You are playing it for the story. Remember that. But I'm really glad that they remastered it and, like, just dropped it or not remastered. They just like.
Well, they definitely they upscaled it.
They upscaled it, but some of the graphics, for the cutscenes, don't look as good because they're in their original.
They're still in the original aspect ratio or whatever.
Yeah, they are. So it doesn't quite look as good as it could look, and they even warn you of that in game. But it's as I said before, you're definitely playing it for the story, and the experience of playing an online game without actually having to deal with other human beings who allegedly fucked your mother. And you can,
because that's what everyone wants to do, is play an MMO with just no one.
I love doing that, actually. But I did that, and you can read their little fictional online forums, reply to some of them that they let you, read their little news articles and stuff, and enjoy all of that crazy shit. In fact, right now, because I'm trying to 100% the game, it requires you to be on a bike for a certain amount of time, and I have the TV off and the PS4 on, and I'm just sitting in-game on my bike while all the little fictional people are running around me, swearing at me. But, yeah, coming back to this game, it's like coming back to an old friend. I missed Syllabus and Gaspard and Pi and Coon, and I'm gonna probably start crying because so many NPCs are my friends.
Oh, that's so sad.
My only friends are NPCs. Good night, America.
Aw.
So yeah, I decided to play some nice light fluff game after being emotionally abused by Nier Automata.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's yeah. What about you, Willa? What type of shit have you been playing now that you're done hearing me gush about my fictional game?
Sure. So the game I've been playing the most lately, we had talked about I got something from Devolver Digital's sort of physical releasing branch.
Meow meow.
It's a game called Ruiner, which is an indie game developed by, I believe they're called Raycon Games or Raycon Games.
Yep, Raichu Games, gotcha.
Which is made up of developers who used to work at mainly of developers who used to work at CD Projekt Red, which is the Witcher developers. They're based in Poland. And Ruiner is actually really cool. It's a sort of cyberpunk styled twin stick shooter. It kind of reminds me a little bit of a Smash TV kind of game. There's a lot of it's really stylish. It's really it really nails the cyberpunk kind of aesthetic. There's a lot of callbacks to things like Akira.
Akira.
Yeah, whatever. Akira.
Depending on the version you watched as a child.
Yeah.
It's Akira, though.
So stuff like that. It's, despite being developed in Poland, there's a lot of, sort of... I would imagine a lot of people would play this and assume it was developed by a Japanese developer, because there's a lot of sort of anime-ish, imagery, a lot of, just random, kanji characters and things all over the place.
Nope, it's made by a bunch of weeaboos in Poland.
Yeah, I guess. But no, it's really cool. It's a twin stick shooter. Again, I made some comparisons to Smash TV. There's also a melee attack. So it almost at times almost feels like kind of a hack and slash thing, because you are going to be using your melee attack a lot. And it's very fast paced. There's a dash. And in a way, it reminds me a little bit of another indie game called Fury, which was very focused on this, a dash mechanic that you kind of use to avoid attacks and things. Now, where this is kind of different is you do get experience, and you have a skill tree where you can unlock different abilities. But in keeping with kind of the fast-paced nature of the game, you can respec your abilities just whenever you feel like.
Oh, wow.
You don't, even in the middle of a fight, you can just
go into a pause screen.
You can just go in your pause screen, and you can just move your abilities around, move your skill points around wherever you want. So there's a shield. And, you can upgrade your dash. You can upgrade, you can add, like, a charge attack to your melee weapons. You can make your, like, default gun stronger. You have, like, grenades, and then you have, like, stun grenades and all kinds of different stuff. So, yeah, it's also really hard. I remember IGN actually trashed it for being too hard. So, games journalists thought it was too hard. So it's probably a good, like, decent difficulty.
Ouch!
Yeah. But...
It's because games journalists don't play games.
Well, I mean...
Whoa!
Shots fired, I guess.
Oh, please.
But...
I went to school to be a games journalist. Biggest mistake of my life. While also announcing it to the class. Biggest mistake of my life.
See where that got you. But
I'll tell that story in a little bit when you're done.
But, yeah. Ooh, sorry.
Sorry about that. That was my game journalism choking you.
Vicky had to interrupt me, and now I don't remember what I was talking about.
About how the game was too hard for games journalists.
Right. So, ooh. It's not that similar to Fury. Fury was, like, all boss fights. And was more about, like, sort of just learning patterns and things. Fury was a great game. I highly recommend it. But this game also, Ruiner's really good. There's a lot of sections with, a lot of enemies or, bosses, which can be really hard. It favors, like, just non-stop moving. You want to be dashing around all the
Sonic.
time. No.
It's definitely Sonic.
No, it's nothing like Sonic.
But you gotta keep moving. You gotta go fast.
All the best Sonic games did not involve going fast that much.
That, I know.
But,
I actually know. I actually pointed out the irony of that, too, when I was trying to play one. I'm like, for a game that really encourages you to go fast, it punishes you for going fast a lot.
No, that's true. That is very true.
It's like, why am I getting butt-fucked for doing what the game wants me to do?
It's because it's not what the game wants you to do.
Fuck you, Sonic. You're sending me mixed signals. This is why I fucking hate this game.
Which game?
The Sonic game. The
first one?
The first one.
Oh, the first? You just don't know. You don't know. You don't know how to play it. It's not about just running.
Yes,
You're used to modern Sonic, where it's just like, you're in a dash thing, just run. And that's it. That's all there is to it. There's more to old Sonic than just running fast in a straight line. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I know that you occasionally have to jump, but...
I'm sorry that's what you expect from Sonic now, but that's not what Sonic...
I don't expect anything from Sonic. Wow. Oh, okay.
Anyway, back to Ruiner, which is awesome.
I'm ruining the conversation.
You're ruining this. Now, I wish I had been the first 500, I think, orders for the game got an art book with the game, and I'm really bummed I didn't get an art book because the art in this game is so nice. I really like the...
Send him the art book.
Wow, okay. Yeah, if anyone from Devolver Digital's listening, I'd appreciate an art book. We don't have an address or a P.O. box or anything. Just send it...
into the fucking aether.
Yeah, just teleport it here. It'll be fine.
DM us, babe.
But,
that stands for direct message, not Dungeon
does.
Master. Do not Dungeon Master us.
Yeah, but I'm sure one of the 6 people listening is somebody from Devolver Digital.
Of course.
But no, yeah, I really enjoyed Ruiner. The boss fights are fun. A lot of people complain it gets a little repetitive, which I guess by the end it did a little, but I think it's the right length where it didn't really overstay its welcome. It stayed entertaining all throughout, for me at least.
Well, I have at minimum 60 more hours of repetitive shit. So,
but
well,
there's a nice variety of weapons. Like you pick up weapons, and then once the weapon's out of ammo, it's just gone. So it encourages you to just keep picking up weapons. But all the weapons you don't use that are still just lying on the ground,
yeah.
Like after every battle, you get what's called a weapon grinder, and you go to that, and it basically turns all the weapons you didn't use into experience for you.
Oh.
So there's also some incentive to, maybe try using your melee or using, like, your special abilities. Try to...
Stop being a loot whore.
Not use all the weapons. So there's a neat, like, give and take, risk reward kind of thing, which I always like. I like, games that are smart about that kind of dynamic. And I thought Roner did that really well.
Make player do good think.
Right. And I mean, Roner, of course, after every encounter, because people complain it's a little formulaic, and it is. You go through a hallway, you're in a room, enemies pour in, you kill them, and then you ad nauseum, rinse and repeat. But, the way that works, you go into a room, you beat the room, and then it's like, what was your combo streak, and what was your this, and what was you get that nice little rating, and that always makes me happy, seeing, like, going through a difficult part and seeing that, like, S at the end, and it's like, yeah. I'm cool.
You go, you beat the room, and you get a high mark. Yeah.
You're tearing me apart, Vicky.
I just love that awkward fucking pause where you just look at me like I kicked your puppy.
You basically did. That was terrible.
Oh, you can also kick animals a lot in .hack GU.
Well, in Ruiner, you hack cats because cats are what the evil corporation uses to spy on people.
I'm noticing a trend here. We're playing games with repetitive gameplay where you abuse animals.
Wow. But no, Ruiner's a little repetitive, sure, but it's really fun. If you want a game where, I mean, it has an interesting story. It has a very, like, old cyberpunk anime-ish story where it's weird and goes off in a weird direction. But the story was fun, and it did what it had to do to keep me, engaged. And the gameplay in the game is really fun. It's very, like, brutal. It's very intense. A lot of people have called it like a cyberpunk Hotline Miami, which the gameplay is not that similar to Hotline Miami outside of, like, the twin stick kind of aspect. But I can see where people are coming from with that comparison, like, in some ways, with the sort of brutality of it, and the, of course, Devolver Digital is involved. So
yeah, they're devs and people who talk for them, like, they're all covered in blood all the time and getting murdered on stage.
Yeah, no, I can't stress enough how great that conference was.
I just like, listen to this fucking dude. This is so, like, what's gonna happen to this guy? And then she comes out, I'm like, oh.
And she just snaps his neck. I love those guys. They feel like, when they're on stage, I feel like that's kind of how gaming used to be. It's got this sort of, like,
they're
punk
the
rock
anti-industry
kind of thing go, like, right, yeah.
Yeah, the anti-industry, yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, yeah, I kind of miss that, like, gaming used to be this, like, underground-ish thing.
But remember, no game devs are in no gaming, like, company, they're not your friends.
No,
remember.
Of course not. But at least, like, Devolver has fun with it,
exactly.
What I mean? Like, so, beyond that, I've been playing, I finally got my code for Bloodstained: Curse of the Moon, which is the sort of prequel game for the full Bloodstained. I thought that was great. I sat down and I beat that in a single sitting.
I watched you sit down and beat that in a single sitting, and it was great. I thought it was so much fun looking.
You didn't play it at all.
Yeah, no, it looked so much fun, though. I kind of want to play it now.
No, you should. It's good. I've played through it another time since that. I did sort of a New Game Plus kind of mode where I don't want to spoil anything because it is sort of a newish game, but there is kind of a New Game Plus mode. And
it's worth it.
Actually in the middle of a third playthrough, because you can kind of do some things differently on different playthroughs. Like, you can choose to either recruit the ally characters, or you can kill them instead of recruiting them, and you gain new abilities by killing them, or you can just ignore them entirely. And that's the hardest way to play, because you don't have the ally characters, and you don't have the extra abilities from killing the ally characters. So right now I'm playing through, and I killed all the ally characters. So I just have the main guy with a bunch of extra abilities. So the first time I played through it, I recruited everyone. But yeah, it's really interesting. They do a good job going for that NES kind of design. Like, people compare it a lot to Castlevania 3, which I would also compare it to Castlevania 3. Not just Castlevania, though. It reminds me a lot of, like, Ninja Gaiden, quite a bit. But yeah, no, it feels like it could have been an NES game. I enjoyed it. I sat down and I played through the entire game. It took me about an hour and a half, 2 hours, or so.
Yeah, like 2 hours
to beat the whole thing. And again, I played through it in a single sitting. I just went through the whole game, and I loved it. That was a blast. Castlevania 3 is one of my all-time favorite games. Castlevania in general, I love Castlevania. So yeah, it definitely lives up to, sort of the legacy of Castlevania, and I hope the full, like, actual Bloodstained game is as good. It is as worthy a successor to, the Metroid style Castlevanias as Curse of the Moon is to, like, the classic, like, NES Castlevanias. So yeah, that's basically what I've been playing recently.
That's really good. Like, those were both awesome. I mean,
yeah, both kind of like retro-ish games, more indie-ish games. I feel like I've been on kind of an indie game sort of kick lately.
That's good, because you know what? Just because, like, I don't know, I feel like sometimes indie games get a bad rap, and I kind of understand why. Like, because they probably don't receive as much funding as, the AAA game companies, but that doesn't mean they can't put out quality content.
Sure.
If they get enough of, like, their own, like, games, like, released and, like, played, purchased, all that good stuff, who knows, maybe a AAA company will pick them up, and then they can, like ideally, like, just fully just flesh out their visions, you know?
Well, that's what happened with a lot of, like, Valve games, isn't it? Like, Portal was originally an indie game, right?
I believe so, yes.
And Valve saw it and they're like, wow, we really like this. Like, we'll, fund this and publish it for you. And,
we'll throw money at you.
Yeah, and that's, and then that became Portal.
That's the American dream.
Like, yeah.
That's the American dream,
man.
So,
But, yeah, indie games, like, I don't know. I feel like I'm always kind of impressed with indie games. Like, I feel like the only time I was really let down with an indie game was, probably Undertale, and I think that's just because that got hyped up so much.
Yeah, it's because it was Overtale for the longest time.
I think it, I played Undertale, and I was not, like, super impressed with it. It was alright. It was worth a playthrough. It was fun enough to play through.
Sans is not NES.
No, Sans is not NES. Don't even start. I think, like, games that get overhyped like that usually tend to disappoint me.
That's why I don't want to play Five Nights at Freddy's. I really don't want to do that.
I've never played Five Nights at Freddy's. The only indie game that got, like, super, super hyped and I thought lived up to it was Shovel Knight. I thought Shovel Knight was fantastic. Shovel Knight is really, really good. And that game got hyped to all hell. Like, people really, were all about that game for a long time.
And I see your amiibo for Shovel Knight over there.
Oh, yeah, I have the amiibo. And it's just like, okay, this looks cool. I'll try it out, but, I mean, I don't know if it's going to live up to the hype. That was a game I thought actually lived up to the hype. Shovel Knight was really, really great.
I actually legit want to try Shovel Knight because you're super hype about it.
I am. I really loved it. The first, like, expansion for it, the Plague Knight one, I didn't really like. But the second expansion, the Spectre Knight one, I think that might even be better than the, like, main Shovel Knight game.
Oh,
like,
shit. That's kind of cool.
The Spectre Knight expansion was great. But yeah, like, most indie games, I go into, like, only kind of knowing a little bit about them. Stuff like Binding of Isaac. I thought Binding of Isaac was really cool when I finally played that, like, last year. I had a good time with that. Fury, again...
I don't think Isaac had a good time.
Isaac is really unhappy all the time. I mean, there's other stuff that got hyped up, like Cave Story. I thought Cave Story was great. And that's a game that is kind of legendary at this point, I guess. And, like, Toho and stuff, I've been playing Toho for a long time now. But stuff I go into, like Fury, like, I knew very little about Fury going into it. I'm just like, this looks kind of cool. And Fury's one of my favorite games, like, in recent memory. Fury was really great. It reminds me of just a lot of my, like, games from a lot of my, like, favorite developers, honestly. It reminds me kind of a Treasure game with, like, being pretty much all bosses. And,
you
like,
love Treasure, dude.
And then looking at the credits to Fury, and I'm looking at, like, their special thanks, and they're listing, like, a bunch of developers, and it's like, these are the developers who, like, inspired us to make this game. And it's like,
and of course Treasure was
like,
on there.
Platinum Games, Treasure, and then, like, From Software.
Of course.
And then it's like Hideo Kojima, like, Suda51, and it's like, oh, all these, like, developers and like, directors and stuff who I love the games of, they're the ones who inspired this game, like, directly. And it's like, wow, okay, no wonder, like, you know.
It's for the love of the game, man.
Yeah.
And that's what people seem to forget. They're so busy trying to crank out their next, like, cookie cutter guaranteed sell. They're afraid to take, like, risks. And indie developers basically have to take risks, and I think it puts some sort of pressure on them to actually try to, like, even though they want to fit some sort of, like, they want to fit a little bit of the mold because they want the game to sell, they kind of need to take risks anyway. Like,
well, sure. Well, I think the big, like, cliche about indie games, the thing a lot of people rag on, is that all the indie games are like, let's take all these things that are popular and put them in a blender. Like, this has elements of Metroidvania and elements of, you know, Souls-like games, and let's put in some, like, collectathon elements and some, like, bullet hell elements, and just smash them all together. And, you know,
God,
sometimes that doesn't work out.
If they made a Banjo-Kazooie fucking shooter, like...
That'd be awesome. Like make a like
just make
Banjo-Kazooie,
Banjo.
like, Toho mashup. Yeah.
And it's like, instead of, like, the, like, music, like, it's the same music, but it's replaced with the voices of the characters, like,
oh God, that's
it would be the best thing ever.
That's like a Silvagunner meme.
But then you make Gruntilda, like, into, like, some sort of weird loli, and then he just
everything would be a weird loli if it's Toho. But yeah,
1,000-year-old loli.
Yeah, but so, and I think to an extent that's true. Like, a lot of the indie games, like, they do, you know, rely on that, like, oh, it's Metroidvania, oh, it's, you know, Souls-like, oh, it's bullet hell.
But then it gets saturated. Like, the market is saturated.
Well, sure, and I mean, the idea is, like, it doesn't matter if it's been done before as long as you're doing it well, and you're doing it not exactly the same as it's been done before. You know what I mean?
Yeah, which is why I said they have to take risks if they want to get noticed.
Like, that's something, like, with Undertale, at least, like, not every game out there is ripping off Earthbound, like, mashing up Earthbound with, like, Danmaku elements and stuff, which is interesting enough. I thought Undertale it lacked polish, and the writing, I know a lot of people love the characters and stuff in Undertale. It didn't really hit for me. A lot of the humor just sort of...
Do you think it's because of the age you're playing it at?
Maybe. I feel like Undertale would be a great game for kids, and I think people are going to misinterpret that. Where I'm not saying it's a kiddie game or anything like that. I feel like it's a game
advanced enough.
Well, no, that's not what.
For kids.
See,
no,
that's not quite what I'm saying. Well, yeah, I think kids would be fine. I want to compare it to, like, Arthur, where I feel like it's a game where...
They don't assume that you're fucking stupid.
It's good because it teaches a lesson without feeling super patronizing. And I feel like that's... I feel like there's no way for me to say this without it being misconstrued as something else. But I feel like, you know, if I had kids, Undertale would be a good game to let them play. Like, not super young kids, but like a 10-ish year old kid. I think someone like that would be the one, like a 10-year-old kid would be the one who would get the most out of Undertale.
I understand what you mean now.
I liken it to My Little Pony. Because when I watched that...
Which My Little Pony?
Like, the new one.
Okay, because the old one...
I watched that because, what's all the hype about? And it's like, yeah, I get how kids like this. This would be a great show for kids. Like, if I had kids, I'd totally show them this. But I don't enjoy this as an adult. Like, I don't...
It's not
I
like
can
Teen
see
Titans.
how-
It's not like Teen Titans,
Huh?
where you could enjoy it equally as a kid and an adult.
Okay. Right. It's not like, Batman the Animated Series or something. But this is like... I feel like I'm too old for this, but I also feel like this is good for kids without being, like, patronizing. Like, it's not like a Barney or Teletubbies type thing where it's just
that's
like...
what I said. It's advanced enough.
Right. This is good for kids without being stupid. Right? Like,
yeah, it's like you're not going to sit down and have your kid read Clockwork Orange, but you might sit them down and have them read Catcher in the Rye.
I don't know about Catcher in the Rye. Well, for an older kid, yeah.
Yo,
like
I'm just letting you know, when our kid's like 9, 10, if we ever have a kid, they're reading Catcher in the Rye.
Like, I read, like, Animal Farm when I was, like, 9 or so, and I feel like a lot of it went over my head. But I remember really liking it.
Yeah, and it's like, at 12, 13, kids going to sit down and read 1984. Just
no,
saying.
Absolutely.
Okay, as long as we're cleared here.
Well, I read...
Welcome to Parenting on Couples Therapy Gaming.
I didn't read 1984 at that age, but I read Fahrenheit 451 at that age, which is sort of a similar message, I guess, about the government and how...
Government bad.
Government bad, yeah.
Government
basically.
bad, government control, everything Big Brother.
Mm.
No, like, I'm reading basically... well, not now, but a few years ago I read 1984 basically as a reflection on, like, how I actually feel about the world. I'm like, I know what this is about. I know exactly what it's like. Let me read this. Yeah, somebody read this and thought this was a good idea.
I'm sure people throughout history have been like, yeah, let's do what those people did.
It's like, yeah, this is great.
Sure.
Fuck it. Like, just have terrifying posters of our leaders everywhere. Anyway. Yeah, we can't stop us. We have a Thundercats poster. Also, new Thundercats.
Oh god,
Speaking
no!
of
I don't
kids,
even want to talk about that. I really don't. Honestly, it makes me upset.
I can...
Make America great again.
And then he just dropped a fucking Sour Patch Kid watermelon into his crotch. But yeah, yeah, that's how that goes. But yeah, no, Undertale, good game, great game for kids because it's more than enough for their little brains. But it doesn't treat them like they have little brains. It treats these little kids like they have medium brains. These kids, they have grande brains. This game might be a bit venti, but it's good. I'm using Starbucks.
Please don't.
I really need coffee. But no,
I feel like this is how all our videos end.
What, just me dying?
With you, like, talking about how much you need coffee because you're about to pass out.
You do realize that every night I'm awake, I drink, like, what's 24 times 3? 48. Wait, 24 or 48? I'm doing math right now.
Seeing you try to do math is
hours?
always really funny.
Is this 62?
Yes, good job.
I drink 62 ounces of coffee every night.
Actually, no, it's not 62.
What?
72.
See, it's because I haven't had any coffee. No, wait, I had a 14 ouncer of coffee earlier. Medium.
Well.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway.
So, now you know why Vicky's, she's just sitting there looking really ashamed.
I am a little bit ashamed. I had to have that Pepsi, which is why I kept burping, because I don't drink soda. I drink coffee. So I kept burping because this fucking soda.
Well, at least you stopped burping, I think.
Yeah,
so
thanks.
That's good. All right. So, any final words before you go commit seppuku?
I'm like 32 hours into .hack GU, and I need somebody to send help. Please send help. I saved Mecha Grunty 50 times for those of you who played this game like a decade ago. Yay! I killed all the chaotic PKs. Help me, Robert. Help.
Tales of Vesperia is better than whatever crap she's playing, so get that.
Okay. Actually, I do want to play the Tales of games. You spoke very highly of them. In fact, didn't we start playing one at one point on like bitch mode? And...
No, it was on super hard mode, but I was also playing it on New Game Plus, so like I had all my stuff.
Oh, so we were just overpowered.
Yeah.
Okay, so why didn't we continue that? You fuck.
I don't know. I didn't feel like... I think because it got boring because we were so overpowered.
Good talk.
Yeah.
I have maxed out all my characters' levels, and I'm not getting any more EXP in Volume 1 of Dot Hack.
Why don't you move on, you loser?
I need to 100% this shit before I move on. I'm almost done the last of the Ryu books for the Book of 1000 for my guild, Kennard. Death Grunty will
books?
Be Ryu books. Yes, there are these things called Ryu books.
Sure you can.
You know, Google it yourself. I need to go fucking Shoryuken this son of a bee. This son of a bee movie.
Vicky has to defeat Shenlong to stand a chance, but she can't. So, you know.
Gomen.
Alright. Bye, everyone.
Yeah.
Happy...
Easter.
Whatever holiday... 4th of July soon, so if you live in America, happy 4th of July. If
For everyone else, we're sorry.
If you don't live in America, haha.
Haha.
Enjoy getting nuked. Ha 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 ha.
Enjoy your actual freedom.
I mean,
maybe.
If you maybe live in one of the good countries, one of the like 4 or whatever.
I feel like we're split up like the Hunger Games territories, actually. I don't think any of us are actually free. Unless we're part of
No one is actually free.
Hmm.
Vicky looks really distraught again.
It feels like the weight of the world. Oh, no, not again, that fucking game. Fucking near. Why the fuck is that things happen? I need to play my fluffy game. Goodbye, people. I'm gonna go play my nice fluffy game with the happy people who die in game. And then they die in real life.
If you die in the game, you die for real.
You don't actually, but bye.